Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another online class with me. This is actually the second one of 2022. So we're going back to shoulders, hips, and spine and that rotation again. So today we're going to look at our shoulder mobility. So hello, I can see people joining in live. I'm just going to keep talking while I do my intro. As you guys know, I'm not sending out the replay anymore. It is because I have compiled the library already, so I'm going to launch it soon, meaning you'll have access to all of the on-demand classes, as in everything we've done up till this date, which should be about 50 to 60 videos. Each of them are about 30 to 45 minutes long. And yeah, so I think there's no fitting time than to do it during lockdown. And yeah, so today's class is all about the shoulders. We're looking specifically at shoulder extension, which is bringing the arms backwards. Props that you will need for today: 2 blocks if you have. If you don't, that's okay. Ideally have them. If you don't have them, what we can do is use some kind of elevated surface like a couch or a table or anything nearby. The second thing that you want is some kind of stick. So I have an umbrella. Preferably not a foldable umbrella, something that is like a large umbrella or a broomstick or a mop, whatever you can find. That's my DIY jobs. I hope everyone's staying safe at home. Yeah, so we're gonna get started. Today's class will be about 35 minutes to 40 minutes, okay? So I'll try not to talk too much and we'll just get stuck into it. But it's a lot of shoulder work. So hopefully, especially with everyone's working from home and stuck inside, we're gonna look to try and roll those shoulders back a little bit more. That's why we're trying to promote a lot more of this extension rather than this rounding inwards, okay? Because that's that posture that we tend to get a lot of. So with every single class, I like to have an assessment. We're gonna start with an assessment. We're gonna finish with the same assessment. So today's assessment, we're gonna lie down on our belly, and I've got you all on my screen here. So welcome to everyone joining in live. 2 blocks here are not needed until later, so you can take those out. And we're gonna lie flat on our belly. Now, as you lie flat on your belly here, our prone work is gonna be, prone is just when you're lying face down. Forehead stays down on the mat, and then our elbows are gonna be bent with our knuckles right in line with the rib cage, okay? So you can actually see the bra line here, the bottom of the bra line. That's where the hands come just outside of it. The second part, I'm going to try and bring my legs together, squeeze my legs, scoop my tailbone under, and then my forehead stays down. When I lift up now, I want to think of squeezing an imaginary block between my elbows behind my body. And then as I lift, I'm lifting off the floor to see how high I can drive my elbows to the sky without flaring the elbows out, okay? So that's my explanation. We're all going to do it now. Ready in 3, 2, 1, and lift up. So squeeze the shoulder blades as much as you can. And if you see the hands, try and take a look to see how far up they're coming off the ground. So maybe an inch, maybe a centimeter, maybe a millimeter. Hold it. Squeeze the blades together. Clip the elbows tighter for 3, even higher. 2, elbows in, Mel, I'm watching. 1, tighter in towards your spine and down. Nice work. Let that go. So I know I'm talking, but I'm watching you on the screen as well. So we're going to come back up now. We're going to start our cars. So even though it's a shoulder class, I am wary that everyone's seated for longer periods of time. So I'm adding in just 1 set of hip cars today, just so you get full body cars. But at the same time, all the work is going to be doing the shoulder stuff. Okay. So we're going to start off on all fours now. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Spread the fingers nice and wide, and then your toes are going to stay tucked under. From here, instead of letting the back just arch down like this, we're going to try and draw the tailbone under and flatten out the lower back. Then from here, as you push away from the floor, you're going to draw your chin to the chest. We'll start with our neck. As your chin comes to your chest, we're trying not to move anything through the rest of the body. Chin comes to the left shoulder. Ear comes to the left shoulder. Start to bring the back of the head. Ear to right shoulder. Chin to right shoulder. And chin to chest. Same direction, one more time. All the way around. Try and expand that range of motion with every single rep. And going all the way around. Nice work. When we hit the middle, we're going to reverse the circle, going to the right. So chin to right shoulder. Ear to right. Back of the head. Maybe it's a little crunchy. Over to the left. Stand to your chest one more time. All the way around. And back down. Good. Now from there, keeping that same distance between the hands and the feet, nothing changes. We're going to go into our segmental spinal car. So we'll start from the tailbone. We're always going to initiate from the tailbone. So tailbone's going to reach up to the sky, belly drops down. You start to puck your chest down to the floor as you pull your shoulders down and back, draw your chin forward. Then from here, the chin moves last. So now tailbone scoops under. You're moving segment by segment, up the spine, pushing through the floor, and chin to chest. And good. One more time through the tailbone. Tailbone lifts up. Belly starts to come down. Your belly is still tight though, so you're drawing your belly to your spine as you start to bring your chest closer to the ground and chin up. Second part, tailbone tucks under. I almost choked there. Coming all the way around. Finding that space through every single vertebrae. And good, nice work. From there, we're gonna slowly sit back onto our heels, grab one of your blocks. So with one of your blocks, I'll face you guys for this one. You're gonna make sure that you hold it like this. So my fingers run along the middle side of it or the outside of the block here. I'm gonna reach my hands forward and all I'm looking to do is clip them together. So if I am not clipping together, it's gonna drop, right? So I wanna make sure I'm gripping not with my fingers, but by pressing my palms into the blocks here. Then back onto the side on version. Once I'm here, my elbows never bend. So we're gonna go into our scapular cars. What happens a lot of the time is when we're in this position here, people do this. And there's like all sorts of movement happening. So we're gonna try and restrict that today by pressing this in. You're gonna scoop your tailbone under. I know you can't tell as much, but if I were to lift up, you can see that I am no longer going to be moving this, okay? So once I'm in this position, yeah, perfect. If you can see yourself there, that's really good, Kelly. Nice. Now, in this position, scoop the tailbone on under and suck the belly in. Then I'm gonna protract my shoulders forward, elevate, retract, and then depress. It's a weird feeling, and I say this almost every single time I teach this, because even as I teach it, it's so hard not to wanna bend your elbows. We're gonna do 5 of these in one direction before we change to the other side. Now, no gripping with the fingertips. I can see some of you, they're like wanting to curl around. Good, 2 more, up and around. And if you're squeezing hard enough, you should start to feel that shaking through the arms. And good, then from there, we're gonna reverse. So backwards, up, forwards, and down. No bending of the elbows and move slowly. Kelly, I know you're wearing a baggy top, but I can see that the elbows are bent through there. Straighten those elbows out. And go one last time. Ooh. And around. Oh, nice work. Those ones get pretty tiring because all of the inside stuff starts to squeeze. So it's normal to feel the fire burn up. If you're like me, I've got my heater on just to make it extra toasty because it's cold outside. So we're gonna go back onto all fours now. We're gonna go into our shoulder cars. In this position, we're gonna keep our left arm grounded. Right arm is gonna go palm facing up and we're gonna go across our body. Now, same thing for here. Nothing moves now. So if you need the accountability, place the block onto your back so you can feel if there's any movement there. Right arm's gonna form a fist, bring it across your body. And now from here, we're gonna bring the bicep all the way across the face. When you can no longer go, you internally rotate. At this point, your elbow stays locked out the entire time. We are not gonna bend the elbow. So as you go around, you keep it in close to your body as you bring it back down to the floor. Now at this point, this is the halfway point. My palm is facing out. You can see it pointing towards the camera. I'm gonna reverse back into extension as high as I can go. Now this is the focus of class. So focus on pulling back and in. That's it. Then rotate. Start to bring the arm up and around. As you bring it around, bring it across your face, back in front of your left fingertips. One more rep like this. Up, out, rotate. Now stay strong through the left shoulder. It's actually gonna get tiring through the left shoulder cup. As your arm comes around, bring it to halfway. And then back up again, focus on that extension, really go further into it. External rotation. As you come around, arm straight, Viv. I can't tell if you're tired from class or what. And good. Hand comes down. We're going to change to the other side. Turning the left palm up, bring it across the body. Same thing. So you'll see that it's no movement through the torso. As you bring the arm up, everything else is rigid. Internal rotation and around. Keeping the arm tight and close to your spine as you come down to the halfway point. That's it. Arm stays straight. Elbow stays locked out. Imagine you have no more elbow here. External rotation, spiraling through the upper arm as you come around. And all the way in front of the right fingertip. Second one, back up. Last one. Ooh, and out. Going all the way around. And down. Nice work. Last one, going back up. Squeeze into further extension. External rotation. Up and around. Ooh, and good. Nice work. If you have a block on your back, keep it there. We're going into our hips now. Last one for our cars before we come into our extension work. So if you want to readjust the hands, readjust them maybe a little wider, the knee can come a bit more into the center. For today's cars, instead of just going straight into it, what we're going to do is we're going to try and draw the knee across to the opposite side. So you're actually crossing your midline because now I'm adding in that adduction. So adduction is when you bring your limbs in towards the middle of your body. So you go up, out, you go into the same exact movement around, all the way around. No lumbar spine movement. And then we reverse, just two each way. Again, it's just to lubricate the joints. You want to still keep that tension so you're making sure your lower body is doing the work. This is about all we will do for the lower body today. Across your body, out, around. Slow movement, Kelly. And down, and back up to the sky, and out, and around, and down. Nice work. Let those shoulders go just for a second. Reset your blades. So this right here is a scat push-up when you squeeze your blades together and push them away. Straight over to the left-hand side now. Squeeze your left foot to your bum. You can point or flex the toes. But now we're going to bring the knee across the body in towards the right side before you come up, out, internal rotation. Ooh, as you come around. Now, again, you'll always notice which side is better, which side is worse. And I always like to share that this is not my good side because I feel it way more into those outer ranges, bringing it around. And again, it's never about how high you go. It's about how still you can keep your body as you move through the ranges. Out and around. Try not to let that block move at all. That's it now, good. And down. Nice, last one going back, out and around. And down. Awesome. Coming out of that, taking that block off. We won't need that block till a little bit later. We're just gonna come straight in towards the downward dog. Stretch out the rest of your body. And get your lower body stretching, get your upper body stretching, getting a good grip on the mat. And we're just gonna move the hips from side to side here. So when it's the mobility stuff, still is a lot of work, which means a lot of the time our muscles are still contracting, which is why I like to add in the stretches in between. Kind of as a feel-good posture, but also because it is nice to release the muscles before you bring them back in towards their tightened state. So from here, we're just gonna add in that spinal work. Readjust your down dog to make sure it's wide enough so as you roll forward now through your tiptoes, you can bring your hips close to the ground. Don't worry about going too strict with the form here. It's just about a little bit more spinal movement, a little bit of strength through the arms, through the hips, then roll back into your down dog. Just two more like that, keeping it short and sweet today. Up and over. You still engage your belly, you still engage your core, you still engage your hips. And good, nice work. Then rolling back up and over into your down dog. One last time as you go up and over. Awesome. And back into your down dog. And good, slowly come forward, bring your knees down to the mat. We're gonna find ourselves into a seated position now. So for the seated position, you're gonna use your blocks behind you. Okay, now how I'm going to set my blocks up is I'm going to put them literally just one next to the other, closer to the back edge of my mat. So with today's positioning, we're finding the optimal position to get shoulder extension. Now we did it lying down on our belly just now. So remember, extension is when we bring the arm behind us. So now if you think about a dip position, so like a bench dip, a tricep dip, anything like that, what we want to do is mimic that position. So we're trying to see how strong we can be from this position. Okay, so my palms are going to face down. My fingers are on the edge of the block. So if I were to actually do a dip right now, I should be able to go into this position here. So instead of using, and that's what I was saying, if you don't have blocks, that's okay. You can actually use another hard surface like a bench or a tabletop or anything like that. So the only catch with this, because we're low to the ground, it's harder for us to keep our posture, which is why we're actually going to do single arm work here rather than double, because you will find that if I am to find my max extension here, and I wanted to try and lift both arms off the floor, there's a lot more core requirement. And some of us just aren't there yet, so it's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the base position where you can feel the most stretch through the front of the shoulders, but you don't let your elbows splay outwards. So in this position, as I show you front on, a lot of the time this happens, and we don't want that because that's your internal rotation in through your shoulder, which again, if you're loading it in that position, that's where a lot of injuries occur. So we're going to try and keep it. Let me show you neutral. So you keep this here and you clip inwards. That's why I was saying on the floor, imagine clipping a block between your shoulder blades. Okay, cool. So let's begin. So when you find your stretch, fingers must point forward. Try not to let this happen because you'll want to be tempted to actually turn your fingers out. Fingers point forward, walk your bum forward, and you go to your lowest point where you can bend your elbows in towards this position where your elbows stay over your wrists, but maybe you move your shoulders forward, okay? It's a very awkward position, I know that, but you'll feel a stretch when you're there. That's it, good. Can you come more forward? Yeah, keep going. So then the second part here, so Kelly, you wanna bend your elbows a bit more, bring your elbows over your wrists. So rather than having straight arms, you wanna keep that bend in it. Yeah, your body will round as a result of it, that's okay. Good, so from here, squeeze the elbows together and already feel how much more work that is through the shoulders, okay? We're gonna look to try and drive both arms down. So like you're trying to push up, but nothing's gonna move. Oh, they're already burning. So when I was practicing, So when I was practicing this earlier, I was like, I'm not doing many of these. So we're only gonna do 3. You're gonna squeeze your elbows in, and now imagine pushing the blocks down with your palms, like you're trying to press into the floor just for 5, 4, 3, 2, slowly release. Good, so don't come off of it. Reset, come back in and push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. Just let the shoulders roll just a little bit. We got 1 more. And get slowly again. Whew. And push down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Nice work. Slowly coming back out of that. Oh. So that should be really tiring all through that shoulder cuff. And when you think about a tricep dip position, or sometimes even a bench press, more in the dip position, you'll find that you're in this position, which means that you're loading through these muscles. And if you're at the end range, most people feel weak there. So that's why a lot of us don't go deep into dips, because we're just not ready to go there, or it's scary because you're like, I can't get back up, or I'm going to buckle my arms under. So when we train these positions here, ideally, this should be able to help us to get into the position to eventually learn how to press up from here. So we're going to add that into it now. So find that same position, get your elbows over your wrists again, keep walking the bum forward so you're at that 100% end range of your movement. Now, instead of pressing up to lift the bum up, we're not doing that, okay? What we're gonna do to add in that kind of upward motion is stay here, but now I wanna try and lift my right arm up and back down. But you see how there I didn't move my body to do it? I'm actually just trying to think, if my hand is pressing onto a scale, I'm trying to lighten the load. So it might not come up, but I want the pressure to slowly come less, okay? So if your shoulders are really tight, you might be back here. That's cool. You might be all the way forward if you've got freakish shoulders as well. So kind of find your spot, and then from there, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Good. Elbows come in tight, like there's another block there between your elbows. And now what we're gonna try and do is imagine bending the elbow to lift Lift that elbow higher for 3, 2, hug that elbow in. Mel, I see it from here, popping out. Pull the right elbow in, yeah, and down. And again, and lift. 1, 2, 3. Bend your elbows, Kelly. 4 and 5, and down. I know there's only you 3 on live right now, so I'm watching everything you're doing. And up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. One last one, and 4, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Nice work. So if you're struggling to lift up and you're ending up straightening your arms, Kelly, that's you, come back a little bit, okay? Because then you can lift the arm up without moving the rest of your body, okay? That applies to everyone else as well. If you're finding it's quite hard or you feel like there's compensation that I just can't see right now, just change your position to be a little bit more conservative. Now from there, as you bend your elbows, one last time, 4 reps on the other side, squeeze the elbow in and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down, and 2, up, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. Just the left hand, not both, not both. So only the left, and 3, 2, 3. That's it. 4 and 5, and down, and one last one. Maybe bring it deeper and go. 1, 2. Hug your elbows in. 3, 4, and 5. Nice work. Whew. Come back in and let that go. Okay, body language is good. You guys are feeling it. So from there, we're going to come into something called, okay, when I say something called, I call them this, superhero cars. So what that is now is we're going to stay kneeling down, Japanese style seat. And as I watch you, it's like your best superhero position. So this is going to be our starting position. Elbows are going to be bent and my knuckles are actually pressing into my body. Now from here, I want to try and see how far I can roll my arms inwards to go into internal rotation, right? Then from there, I'm going to keep my angles. This is still on my waistline, but now I pull the shoulder blades down. And as I create this capsular car is just when we're going through internal and external rotation. I want to try and see, can I squeeze my blades and can I continuously pull my blades down as I bring my arms back and up, 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 up without puffing the chest, okay? So again, side profile, you shouldn't see much movement. It's not like a twerking motion, okay? So from here, I'm gonna squeeze, pull down, pull the blades back, and then as I'm here, I'm gonna keep my elbows there as I bring it up, 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 up. Try and bring those wrists behind your head. Yeah, but 90-degree angles, and then come back down as you find that superhero arm. So tension is on the whole time. It's not just a flinging motion. So again, second rep, we're gonna go again. From here, squeeze, pull down, and then keep the elbows there as you pivot through that rotation. We're gonna go for 3. And then again, back down. Oh, best superhero position. Relax, one last time, reset, elbows back, shoulders down, squeeze, rotate. So you figure that's like that bicep turning inside that socket. So the tendon rotates inside the socket, hold, and then back down. Okay, from there we have another build up to that where we're going to add in the extension of the arm. So we just did rotation, but with bent arms, right? So now we're going to go into our shoulder extension. Imagine clipping a block behind you. Then from here, this is going to want to happen. So again, sit up nice and tall, scoop the tailbone under. And as you tuck that tailbone, I'll do that again. As you tuck that tailbone under, now we're going to keep the arms behind us. As you rotate through, imagine squeezing 2 tennis balls, rotate the biceps outwards, 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 outwards until your palms go to the sky. Clip the back of the knuckles towards the backside of your body, and then internal rotation. And 2. And 2, back out. So this is why I was saying it's going to burn, because you're using all of your deltoids, your rotator cuff, but also your triceps and your biceps too. And out. Good, let that go. Good, so from there, we're just going to go back into our cards to floss out the joint. Left hand stays on your waist, right hand's going to form a fist, bring it across your body, going up, all the way around. Rotate as you go back behind, clear your bed if you can, and down. Then from there, and reverse and open and around. Wow. We're gonna go through 3 times per side, and then we're gonna be using our prop, which is gonna be your umbrella, your broomstick, your mop, whatever you can find. A long stick and around. And back. So the arm still stays locked out, body stays locked out, only moving through that humeral head, that upper arm inside the socket. One last time and across. Make the circle even bigger if you can. Find that tension through your body and down. Nice work. And again, back up, pull those shoulder blades down and up and around. And good. Shake it out. Same thing on the other side. Now, right hand stays on your waist. Keep that tailbone scooping under. You can reset your pelvis if you need to. Then you're going to form that nice fist with the left hand side. If you feel it in your neck, yep, move around the neck as well. The other indicator is if you're overworking it through the neck and you feel like you really need to loosen it, you're more than likely probably shrugging a little bit without realizing. So if that's the case, make an extra emphasis to pull the blades down. And you might find there's a slight puffing of the chest, but then you recorrect that with the pelvis tucking under again. Yeah, good. I know, you know I'm talking to you. So from there, palm faces up. Turn the hand, and then again, straight into 3 shoulder cars on the left arm. As you come around and over and across, behind you and down. Nice work. Try not to move your shoulders too much. Try not to move your rib cage either as you rotate around. Yeah, Mel, if it's sore, just put 2 blocks under your bum. You can sit on the blocks as well. Good, and 2 more. Good, and around. And so I think that sometimes, I teach cars every single time, but I too will forget to do them daily sometimes because I should, and I'll implement 1 or 2 of them no matter what in through my routine. But it is easy to kind of forget and let these little things slip. So I have to make a conscious effort to do them. So teaching classes is a great way to do it because I love demonstrating because then I actually get my reps in as well. But it just goes to show it's not easy to keep these things in all the time, and it does require effort. Whew, and good, nice work. 3 down. All right, we're moving into shoulder extension, but with the stick now. So we're coming towards more of the end of the harder stuff, and then we'll come back into more upper back opening, stretching through the end, which will feel a lot better through the body. You're gonna use your stick or your umbrella or whatever you can find. So Viv, find a prop that you're gonna, like if you have a long umbrella, it's perfect. Now, you're gonna bring that behind your body. If it is uncomfortable to sit Japanese style seat, you can always sit onto 2 blocks, okay? So if I'm sitting onto 2 blocks here, I'm actually gonna put these underneath my bum, so it's less pressure through the ankles. If you have any ankle injuries or it's really, really stiff through those areas, just prop yourself up. You do want to be on your knees though, just because with this one, if you're seated on the floor, your floor will get in the way. Cool, so holding the umbrella or the stick behind your body and keep it shoulder width apart. So not too wide and not too close in. Roughly so that if I were to actually show you my front on body right now, show you this way, you are gonna see that it's just outside my hips. I haven't even moved my arms, okay? So when I'm in this position now, what I'm looking to do is 1, curl my tailbone again, that's not gonna change. But second thing is I wanna pull my shoulder blades down because when we move the arms up behind us, this is gonna wanna happen or the body's gonna wanna go forward. So front on version here, pull the blades down and imagine I'm pulling the umbrella back behind me. So I'm pulling back into that max range and I wanna hold it there. Now this doesn't happen, right? So down and back with the blades and then the arms come up and then you'll get that same sensation we got when we were stretching on the blocks earlier and then come back down, okay? So we're gonna do that 10 times where we lift up, but then there will be an addition to this where we make it a little bit harder. So once again, think of pulling the stick apart first, pull the shoulder blades down and back, and then from here, scoop the tailbone under. When you're ready, start to lift, 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 hold it for 3, 2, 1, then come back down. If you feel your chest starts to move, you're compensating, so don't go so high. And then again, pull apart, set the blades, scoop the tailbone up, 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 and down. If you're pulling the bar apart, you should find it's very challenging. If you're not pulling the bar apart and you're passively going up, you'll see the shoulders roll forward, okay? So again, down, back, pull the bar apart, and then lift. 1, 2, 3, and then back down. Good, that's 4 reps down. We're gonna go back in again. Reset, down, back, and pull, and up. And down. Whew. Okay, halfway there. Up we go again. And down. And 2, pull, pull, pull. See if you can go higher. And down. Reset, and 3, pull, 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 and out. Good, 2 to go. Set, back, pull, all the way up, and down. 2 more. Try not to lean forward, Viv, I see you. And again, down, back, and out, and pull. Go, 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 go. And out, nice work. And one more time. Down, back, pull, all the way around. And down, awesome. All right, from there, turn the palms down and hold your prop palms down and then wider, as wide as the edge of it. We're gonna try and see, can you pull the prop all the way up and over without changing it? So now actually my palms are facing up. I know it looks really weird, but that's what it should look like as you bring your arms around. So as I come back and over, my palms face my body, okay? So if you have a short umbrella, you might not be able to do it. If you don't have an umbrella, or if your umbrella is too short, you can use a band for this one as well. So this is like when we do our band dislocates, when you start to move the arms up and over this way, but the palms are slightly different. That's why I like the rigid prop here. So from here, we're gonna do this 5 times. As your palms face forward, pull back, up, and around. And this will feel funny through the elbows because it does involve a little bit of elbow movement here. Yeah, that's it, go Mel. That's it, just stop there, just stop there. Don't go any further because that the umbrella is quite small. Good. Then if you're there, come back and around. If you have a band, Mel, you can use a band instead. And then again, up and around. And then back up and over. Nice work. Just 3 more times. Up. Perfect. That's a good band there. And around. Just try to keep the palms always facing up as you bring it around. And good. 2 more. And up and around. And again. Ooh, last one. Ooh, if this doesn't open your shoulders up, I don't know what will. And then up and around. Awesome. Good. Back to conventional style, palms facing forward again, but now my palms are actually facing down towards my leg. Last one, just normal dislocate. So at this point, you'll find that your palms will face back behind you as you reach up and over behind your body. That's it, just 5 times. And this should feel quite cruisy compared to the last 2 sets. That's it. And if it's too cruisy, hold the band or the bar a little tighter. 2. And 1 more. Nice work, and around. Awesome. Now, you guessed it, we're doing one more set of cards just to see how that feels now. So as I'm facing you again, we're gonna see how we go. Stay kneeling down, hand stays on your waist, arm comes in front of you, bring the arm across, and then again, you bring it up and over. So now as everything has opened up through the backside of the body, you should feel that it'll move a little smoother now. The cards are a great exercise, a great assessment tool, a great thing that you can do all the time. And that's why I keep preaching them. And it's also why I'm going to keep saying, do them as much as you can, because there's no such thing as too many cards that you can do. It's just you play around with the intensity at which you work with. Because all the time we're just remembering, we're trying to promote blood flow in towards that joint, which has a poor blood supply. Up and around. And yeah. And one last time, up and around and down. And then back up, open. Nice work, everyone. And back down. Whew, good. Other side, hand on waist, form your fist, bring it across your body. So when you're doing these cards, just kind of flossing through, we're not going at 100%. I'd say that we're probably working at 75 to 80%. If I were going at 100%, you'd see me slowing it right down and really, really getting into those sticky zones. We do those in assessments. We do those in end range liftoffs. We do them in so many other ways. But right now, as we're just kind of moving through it, we don't need to go so intense. Nice, good. And back, open, up, and around. Good stuff. One last time like that, and over, and around, then back, open, and all the way around. Nice work. So from there, grabbing onto the outsides of your shins, if you can reach for them, if you're sitting on 1 block, 2 blocks, whatever it is. If you're on 2 blocks like here, I would actually just untuck the toes, that it makes it more accessible to actually reach the ankles, because we're trying to hold on to something, okay? So in this position here, if you are sitting flat on the ground, perfect. If not, I mean, I'm just doing this just because I want to stretch my toes out, not because I have any pain, but if you have pain, this is also a good alternative. Or if you know you've got tight toes, it's a good way to get a double whammy. So grabbing onto the front of the shins, you see how the shoulders round. Now sit up nice and tall, pull the shoulders down and back, and think of almost bringing the elbows in towards your hips. Then from here, you press your toes down. We go back into our neck bars again. Chin to chest, chin to left shoulder, ear to shoulder, as you come all the way around. So the pressure of the hands on the shins is creating that downward pull, which gives you an anchor point. We're going to go same direction one more time. As that anchor point pulls you down, it allows you to pull your shoulders down, because otherwise we tend to shrug up for a lot of us. And reverse the circle. And around. And down. And if you were to talk like I am now, you should hear that throat or the voice start to change when you go through certain ranges, because you do compress onto your throat. And good, nice work. All right, let that go. We're gonna go back onto our belly this time. So you can put your blocks aside. You don't need those anymore. As you lie down on your belly now, we're coming in towards the stretches now. So knees are gonna be on the floor. Keep your toes wide, toes pointed. Hands are just gonna come forward and towards that puppy stretch. So as you press your chest down, you're keeping your hips high and you're trying to bring your chin to the floor. If you've got really tight shoulders, walk your hands wider, maybe as wide as your mat or even wider than your mat. And you still do the same thing, but you just give yourself more space through the shoulder region. So for here, we're just looking to open up the upper back, because I promise it is the stretching part of the session. If you want a little bit more fire here, you press through the palms, you try to lift your elbows up, but you try and dip your chest lower to the ground. Your hips stay over your knees, your toes are pointed, the tops of your feet are pressing into the ground. And then the rest of your body is actually coming to a relaxation as much as it can. Just going for one more deep breath here. And out. And get from there, slowly curling your tailbone, rounding back over. And you're gonna find yourself keeping your hands exactly where they are, but now pressing your palms into the ground, driving your pubic bone down and extending your chest up. So if you had to move your hands, I'd actually keep them a little further forward, just because that way it allows you more space to actually straighten the arms out. And since we're opening into the spine, front of the body, rolling the shoulder heads back and down again, rather than this. So I want to actually see your neck. Push your shoulders down. That's it. And good. Then from there, slowly bending your elbows, bring them to the ground. Sphinx pose, bring your knees together, bring your toes together. And then once again, from here, I want you to imagine dragging the floor back behind you. So your elbows, your forearms, your palms are glued to the ground. Instead of having this happen again, you're pushing down and then you're going to drag backwards so you feel your upper back work as well. This is a really nice way to get upper back strengthening in without being too intense through like Superman lift offs or anything like that. Hold it there for 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. All right, from there, we're gonna bring it into a cross-body arm stretch. Right arm is gonna come across my body. I'm actually gonna cross my elbows at the junction of them, and I wanna try and swing them as far away from each other. And I want my palms to face up. And then from here, I just wanna slowly relax my chin over my left bicep. And you'll feel the stretch come through the outer shoulder. So both my hands are across my sides here. And then I'm just gonna relax. So usually you'll feel more on the probably right side, the right shoulder stretching. You want to direct more energy and attention into that outer right shoulder. And at the same time, as you relax into it, still think of driving this shoulder down and back, and you'll get that intensity through that right shoulder stretch again. So it's almost like you want to glue the back of the right shoulder to the ground. Your head relaxes over. Your belly relaxes into the ground. And your legs are relaxed too here. So you just let your heels fall open. You let your big toes touch. It's like this natural release through the sacrum, through the hips, through the lower back. Your hands start to release, your wrists start to release. And you start to surrender into the stretch. One more deep breath here. And get slowly coming out of that. Lift your head up and you slowly bring your elbows in the opposite directions. And we're going to change the crossover. So just now we had the right arm under. So now I'm going to bring the left arm under and keep the right arm on top. Same exact crossover, palms still face up. My toes are still touching, my heels fall open. And then once again, I just allow my chin to rest over that right bicep now. If you can reach the chin over it, that'll get you a deeper stretch. But if you can't, then of course you can just rest it where you can. So just like the other side, when we want to add intensity while surrendering, you think of rolling that outer left shoulder down and back, like you want to glue almost the border of the shoulder blade towards the ground. And you'll suddenly feel a deeper stretch through the posterior rotator cuff of your left side. You feel your body start to melt down a little deeper, maybe a little softer, as the mind starts to quieten. Yeah, good. One last deep breath here. And when you're ready, slowly lifting your head. Oh, and bringing your arms back out of that. Oh, nice work. All right, we're going to finish off with just our reassessment here. So remember where our hands started, knuckles into the floor. Make sure you have that angle where your elbows are directly over the wrists. And then from there, clip your elbows together, glue your forehead to the mat. Like we worked earlier, now you have a better understanding of how to actually come into shoulder extension. You're going to squeeze the blades down and back, keep your legs tight. Last little bit of the day, let's try and lift up as high as we can go, starting now. Lift up, keep those elbows in, and really try and pick those knuckles off the floor for 5, 4, 3, 2, And one. Ooh. And nice work, everyone. Pressing yourself back up. Give yourself one last child's pose, knees wide, toes touch, stretch the body. Bring the chest forward, bring the hips down onto the heels. Find as much space as you can between every single vertebrae, especially through the lower spine. You want to try and reach the hands as far as you can to open up that lower back, which tends to get so much tension. Maybe crawl the fingers a little more forward. And good, slowly coming out of that. Nice work, everyone. Welcome back. I've gone back to doing shoulders, hips, spine, and hamstrings, but I'm gonna add one more into it where it'll just be a full body flow kind of every 4 weeks, just because I've noticed that it is nice to be able to do the specific joint mobility stuff, but sometimes it's also nice just to go for like a flush out session. Not quite yoga, but it might feel like yoga. I'm not a yoga teacher. Maybe one day I will be. But for now, it's just about giving you what I know. And it's more like a feel good session. So hope you enjoy. Like I mentioned, the online platform will be going live probably at the end of this weekend. So I'm putting myself under a time crunch just so that I can provide more to you guys instead of letting the weeks kind of go by. So if you want more information, I will share that with you. But for now, I'm going to stop the recording and I will save myself for any question and answers now. Okay, let me just stop that recording.